Right, 22 September 2020, and today I want to quickly go through what has happened today. This is a story that was in the Herald, and what has happened is that newly elected PDP mayor of the MDC Alliance was recalled, which means that his election has been nullified. So you remember that, I think it was on the 5th of September, there was an election in the MDC council, in the MDC-led council of Harare. And the MDC-T candidate was beaten by Mayor Jacob Mafume. So what they did is they did what is called recall proofing, in which they tried to put a PDP member whom they said could not be recalled by the MDC-T. But what has happened is today, the Herald reported that that mayor has actually been recalled. So I want to show you the article which came out in the Herald, and I want us to go through this article because it's very, very interesting. So just have a look here on my screen. You will see that this is the picture of the mayor, Jacob Mafume, and the article says, barely a month after his election, Harare Mayor Councillor Jacob Mafume has been recalled by his party, the People's Democratic Party, a development that is likely to result in a fresh poll. The recall of Councillor Mafume comes as efforts to restore sanity in the corruption-wreaking councils that are led by the opposition gather pace across the nation. So I want to go down and I want to show you how these people managed to recall Councillor Mafume. So if you go to the paragraph here, almost at the end, it says, attempts by Biti faction in the PDP to block Councillor Mafume's recall hit a brick wall after local government and public works minister, July Moyo, indicated in a letter that he recognized the Mr. Rukanda faction led by Lucia Matibenga. So this is critical. I want you to know that this is very critical. This party, the People's Democratic Party, went into the MDC alliance led by Tendai Biti. The faction led by Matibenga went into what is called the People's Rainbow Coalition. This was led by Maimujuru. If you remember, Maimujuru formed their own coalition after failing to agree with Morgan Tsvangirai. So initially, Maimujuru was supposed to go in with Morgan Tsvangirai. They even went to Gweru together. I think they also went to Masvingo together to do rallies, but then they disagreed. Then Maimujuru formed their own coalition. So these are the people who are now recalling the mayor who is a PDP mayor. The reason why they're able to recall this mayor is because they're saying when Tendai Biti left and went into the MDC alliance, he dissolved his faction of the PDP and then he went into the MDC alliance, which I think is not logical. And I want to show you the signatures on the global agreement. It's called that MDC alliance agreement. Let me quickly show you the signatures there. And I hope I've got it handy with me here. Right, so if you look on the screen, right, let's give it a moment. This is the signatures which were on that agreement. Right, so you will see that if you look there, the first signature is Morgan Tsvangirai. The second one is Welshman Ngube. And I think you will see that Tendai Biti is number 3, Jacob Ngaruvume of TZ, number 4, Agrippa Mtambara, Matthias Guchutu, Denford Musiyarira of Zanundonga. So these are the people that signed that agreement. And Matibenga, at that time, she went with Maimujuru. And I think Dabengwa almost got in there. But at the end of the day, she was not part of the people that signed this agreement. But then Pugeni, I talked to him a few weeks ago, and he said that they can recall PDP MPs and councillors. And I want to show you his logic, what he was saying here when he said they can recall those senators. So he was talking to Ezra Chisaswanda, and I want to quickly show my face here. I don't want to be hidden. So let me show you what he said. So he said, okay, I'm sorry, I think I'm losing my video here. My network is very slow because of the electricity situation that I have here in Johannesburg. But if you look here, let's quickly, right, I'm sorry about that. I think my network is not allowing me to show this video, but I would have really wanted to show what Pugeni said. Right, let's see what he says there. Once again, my network is failing me. Let me make a last attempt to share this video because we want to see what Pugeni is saying. Right, there he is.
Following that judgment, we were able to then withdraw parliamentarians who did not agree with the Supreme Court judgment. We were civil. We left out the alliance partners one. We were civil. But now that they are going hostile, we may start recalling them because according to that judgment, their submission was that all the alliance, so-called alliance MPs actually fall under the MTC. That's why they put them in the 88 and in the 25 senators.
Right. So what Pugen is saying here is that when they went to court, when Chamisa went to court to appeal at the Supreme Court, he put PDP MPs within the list of those MPs that belong to MDC Alliance, the political party. Whereas the PDP that went into MDC Alliance now didn't have anybody. So there was no one now in the PDP. That is why Matibenga is stepping in to say, I'm the PDP. But I don't think that makes sense. I don't think that's logical to do that because she is not among the signatories. I do not think this is logical. And I think that these guys have overstepped and they've overreached in taking this decision to recall a PDP mayor or a PDP MP. However, this is done. So Mayor Mafume has been recalled. The minister has already written a letter to confirm that is recalled. So as we speak, there is no mayor in Harare. They've also recalled someone from Bulawayo from PDP. They've also recalled someone from Mutare from PDP. So this is a done deal. And according to my understanding, they are going to be recalling somebody, Tendai Biti. In fact, they're going to be recalling him before next week. So they're going to come there and they will recall him from parliament. I don't know how that is going to work. Before I had this live discussion, I called Jacob Mafume and I asked him, does this make sense? Are you recalled? And he said, this is a nullity. This is an illegal action that they've taken because Biti and himself, they have the trademarks for PDP. And so no one can recall them. And so this is where this situation stands. As we are now, Mafume is recalled. He cannot go back. So I want to briefly look at the comments here before I close this. I don't have anyone here who wants to join. So I want to quickly wrap this up. And when I look here, I want to look at this comment here. What does this help? Recall and then what? Useless political gimmick and worth nothing. Right. So I think this is what many people think, but personally, I believe that this is very important because the votes of the people that voted are being stolen. I agree with this. In a case like this of PDP, I think people who voted for PDP really wanted PDP. So I don't think it's similar to a case where an MDCT person is being recalled. This is totally different. A person that went into Rainbow Coalition cannot then come back and recall someone who was in MDC alliance. I think that one is a mistake. And if these guys were to challenge this in court, I have a feeling that it would be taken differently compared to the case of the MDCT. So if, for example, they were to recall Biti, people who wanted Biti cannot be represented in recalling him by people who were in Matibenga's faction. And I think if I was Tendai Biti, I would let them recall me, then I would go to court and make sure that I challenge this and win. Alternatively, these guys will have to go and contest in the by-elections, but that is another matter altogether. It's not clear whether the MDCT or the MDC Alliance MPs will win. I don't think the MDC Alliance MPs have done a good job. I think the people that were in the MDC Alliance who have voted into MP positions, they have been a big letdown. Take, for example, the mayor, the MP for Bulawayo. I have never seen that lady since she was elected. I have never even seen her on a newspaper or even walking on the street. It's as if she got elected and then disappeared. So this is the thing that is going to cost the MDC Alliance. The MPs have not been visible. It's unlike people like Joanna Momombe, although she's got a case now of all these fake abductions and all that. She was actually visible on the ground. You could see her doing things, you could see her donating goods, you could see her in the community. Even a councillor like Ngadzore, he's got his own weaknesses, but he was visible. You could see him on the ground. However, the majority of the MDC Alliance MPs, they have not been visible. They were totally not there. So it's possible that if there's an election, communities are angry against the MDC Alliance, and they could end up punishing them. And you could have a loss. You might have an independent winning, or you might even have ZANU-PF winning. Right, so this is where we are. The recall of the mayor of Harare, Jacob Mafumi, is opening a way for Tendai Biti to be recalled. Because if you can recall the mayor, you can use the same grounds to recall Tendai Biti. Right, so this is what I had for today. And I do not want us to continue. We have had another video earlier in the morning. So let me end this discussion here. And I would like to thank everyone who's watching on YouTube and people who are watching on Facebook. Thank you very much for watching, and good night, everybody.